Who should you be transferring out? Who should you be bringing in? In this video, I'm going to answer those exact questions. What's going on, guys? I'm the FPL chairman, and welcome to my video focusing on game week 4 transfers. Who should stay in your team and who you should be selling. The first player we're going to look at is Gabriel for Arsenal. Gabriel's current value is 4.8 million with still, surprisingly, a 17.7% ownership. The reasons why you need to be getting Gabriel out of your team are very simple. Minutes and starts. He's already been transferred out by 370,000 transfers out by FPL players. He played 4 minutes against Forest, massive surprise to all FPL managers having started all 38 games of the previous season. He played 20 minutes for Palace, and then in game week 3, as we all saw, he didn't come on at all against Fulham. This is a player who clearly a lot of FPL managers, including myself, got wrong. And he is one of the more sort of higher end players in terms of where his price originally was at 5 million, but his price is rapidly falling. And if you're someone who still has him, as 17% of FPL players do, you need to be moving on into someone who is playing well. For now, there are plenty of good options around that price point. My suggestion for a player that would be a good replacement for Gabriel would be looking into Newcastle players like Burn, players like Botman, as their fixtures are phenomenal coming up, and I'll be going into that in this video as well. It's very clear that Arsenal have moved on from Gabriel and he's not in Arteta's plans going forward. So if he is in your team, it's time to move him along. The next player that is on the stay list in your teams might be surprising. Bruno Fernandes, he's actually been transferred out by FPL players, 80,000 transfer outs ahead of game week 4. His current ownership is 22.4% and his price has been stable at 8.5 million. This is a player that I think a lot of FPL managers going into game week 4 and even game week 3 were considering taking out and have taken him out. Game week 3 obviously coming off the back of blanks in game week 1 and game week 2. However, in game week 3 he obviously picked up the penalty, the assist, and walked away with 16 points, which is an absolute massive haul, just behind Sterling's 19 points for game week 3. Game week 4 will be playing in FPL managers' minds for the fact that they have Arsenal, which is not going to be an easy game. A lot of FPL managers, as I explained in my video, my game week 4 preview, which you can check out on my channel, a lot of FPL players will have 4 United and Arsenal players combined, which is far from ideal. That's nearly a half of your team playing in one match, a match that I expect to be very competitive, where goals, they may come and they might not. It's really tough to say. However, I think Fernandes is a good hold for many reasons. His current average goal involvement is 1.23, so his expected goal involvement, he's getting a return in every single game. That's what's predicted. Obviously, that didn't happen in game week 1 and game week 2, but his potential for points is high and almost guaranteed based on those averages. He's on penalties. That's a very obvious thing in terms of why FPL managers should be sticking with him. Penalties have happened more frequently this year, and I think they will do given the minutes. And also, United's fixtures are really appealing. He's currently also sitting on expected goals of 0.7 and expected assists of 0.6, which contribute and add up to that goals involvement. If we look ahead to his next fixtures, game week 4 obviously is that tough test at Arsenal away. However, after that, Man United have Brighton at home and Burnley away. 2 games where points are definitely able to be taken by Man United. Looking forward into, okay, well, why are Man United's fixtures so good going forward? You just have to look at the colour and how I presented it, basically. They've got a lot of decent fixtures coming up. Game week 7, Crystal Palace, then Brentford at home, Sheffield United away, the Manchester Derby, then Fulham away and Luton at home. They're great fixtures. And if you were looking into it in game week 1, you'd be jumping all over Man United players for this. So for my FPL team, he'll definitely be staying in. The questions that a lot of FPL managers will be having is, okay, well, why Fernandes over Rashford? I think given the fact that his penalties, the expected goals and the expected assists combining, whereas Rashford hasn't really hit that form yet, Obviously, he walked away with 7 points in game week 3. However, that extra 0.5 million I also think is a big deterrent for FPL managers, and that 0.5 can be better invested elsewhere. So penalties, fixtures, Fernandes should definitely be staying in your team. The next player is Mitoma for Brighton. You might be surprised that I am actually suggesting Mitoma. However, he has been one of the most transferred out players ahead of game week 4. 218,000 FPL managers have taken him out of his team. He's still 6.6 million, so 0.1 million above where he started this season, and he's still owned by nearly half of all FPL managers. The reason why he's on my sell list is 2 points: fixtures and my thought that the best points have already happened. We obviously saw Brighton absolutely fly out of the blocks with back-to-back 4-1 victories. However, I think what has left a lot of FPL managers surprised, and also myself, is their most recent home performance against West Ham. Brighton's fixtures don't look good, and they're very difficult tests coming up. Newcastle at home, not going to be easy. Man United away, again, the same. Bournemouth at home is still a good fixture. However, I think the other players that are available at this price, or even slightly higher, the likes of Mbemo for Brentford, who's performing very well, obviously didn't pick up points in game week 3. However, Brentford fixtures look really appealing. Sterling obviously has absolutely burst onto the scene finally for Chelsea with 19 points in game week 3. He's only 7.1 million. That may rise. I think there are better options than Mitoma and Brighton assets going forward. So for me, he is on the sell list. Another player, and my final player in this video that I think if you have him in your team should stay, is Alexander Isak. Again, surprisingly, he's been transferred out by 110,000 FPL managers, which I can't wrap my head around given Newcastle's fixtures to come. We obviously saw in Newcastle's 5-1 victory at Aston Villa his best form. He looks phenomenal, really delicate finishes as well, and looks a real striker. I think his best points are yet to come for Newcastle, and I think if you've got him in your team currently now, although his price is obviously higher than what it was at 7.5 million, currently sitting at 7.7 million with an ownership of 29%, I think if you get in early, you will benefit massively with price rises and also, more importantly, with points. Looking ahead to Newcastle's fixtures, you've got Brighton away. Given Brighton's game week 3 performance, I don't think that's a bad fixture. Brentford at home and Sheffield United away in game week 6 are all games that Newcastle can definitely walk away with points. Obviously, a lot of people will probably be saying their performance at home to Liverpool is maybe a deterrent for Newcastle assets, but I personally think they will hit form, they will bounce back. Eddie Howe's a fantastic manager. He will tell them what they did wrong and what they need to do better, and I think any Newcastle player right now is worth putting in your team ahead of those fixtures before any potential price rises. Look ahead in terms of Newcastle fixtures, you can see exactly what I mean. Multiple easy fixtures coming up. Burnley at home, West Ham away. Might be slightly difficult, but I still think Newcastle should walk away with a win. Crystal Palace at home, Wolves away. Tough test at Arsenal and Bournemouth away. These are all games where points can definitely come, and I think with Isak's minutes and also the fact that he is at the top for Newcastle in terms of their attack, he can definitely be the one to get those points and lead ahead there. So guys, that was a new video concept for me, stay or sell. I really hope you enjoyed it. Getting a lot of love and a lot of support at the moment from people who are watching my video, and I really appreciate that. Really enjoying pushing the content. So if you'd like this video, please make sure you like and subscribe and comment below whether you would stay with these players or you would sell them or not, and tell me what you're thinking ahead of game week 4. Thanks guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.